The two words you use all the time are effort and execution. There was a long stretch there, especially in the third quarter, where that all seemed to go away. What happened there?
Well, I'd even take it back to the first half. I felt like we didn't come out with any intensity or effort in the first half. Lucky to be down only 4 at halftime with giving up, I think, 15 offensive rebounds in the first half and having 12 turnovers. So they had 19 more shots in the first half, and it was a point of emphasis going into the third quarter to pick up our intensity, fight a little harder, and it only went the other way.
You guys got down to rolling down 2 there midway through the third quarter before they really closed things out strong. What was just the biggest area of concern there? You guys fought back a little bit and then, obviously really didn't go your way the last.
Yeah, turnovers, same thing. Turnovers, offensive rebounds. We had 25 and they got 27 points on us there. For a team that to shoot, low 40s and 30s in the first half to be up 4, it was a miracle on their part, but it was due to our turnovers and offensive rebounds. They had that many more possessions than us. So although we got back in the third quarter, started to play hard to come out at halftime, they ratcheted up their intensity and we didn't match it.
Is the offensive rebounding, is that just an effort thing? And is there a point where you look down the bench, say, okay, Bruno, Ennis, like these guys aren't doing it, give us a shot?
It is an effort thing. We stressed it. They had 19 in their first game, and that's who Toronto is, a team that plays hard. And so we really stressed that if we don't bring the intensity with these guys, it could get ugly. And so it didn't help in the first half. We talked about it at halftime and came out with some intensity to start the third, but didn't sustain it at all. And so can't get into a jumping contest with those guys, long athletic guys. But it is an effort thing, something we talked about and stressed in the area. They really hurt us with 25 offensive rebounds tonight. I'm sorry, 21.
I mean, it's a second game, and now there's already questions about the effort. How do you address that? How do you address that it seemed like they were going in the lane with easy layups, they were getting what they wanted, and you guys are getting frustrated because shots weren't going down?
Yeah, I think we did let our offense affect us at times. Some non-calls there. We got our head down, and that's something we want to play through. But the thing I'd say is the first 5 games, preseason and in the New York game, it can't be that big of a contrast in the effort there. We played hard all through the preseason and the first game, no matter who was in or out of the lineup. And so we got some guys back. Honestly, it looked like we could have been tired from the double overtime game, but no excuse. You got to play through it. We had a good day of rest yesterday, and to be honest, New York went and beat Orlando, so it's no excuse on our part.
It's first home opener, kind of a tough night to get booed, but just how do you think your guys responded to that?
Well, they know the passionate crowd, and the fans, not ideal, obviously, for tonight, but you take that, embrace it, and use it as fuel. We deserved it by the way we played, and I think our guys all know that, and that's what we appreciate about the fan base as well. They're gonna be honest out there with your effort, and for the most part, they just outplayed us. So when you get that result out there, I expect nothing less.
The other day, you talked how important it is for the weak side wings to get back when the shot goes up on transition D. How do you feel like that went tonight? And how do you feel like the transition D was?
Not great. It was decent in the first half, but 22 fast break points for these guys. We talked about making them score in the half court. They struggled the other night, scoring 83 points, and 20 of them were in transition. So we knew they wanted to get out and run. And to have 22 on us tonight, although the second half they scored much better, it was, like I said, we were down 4 at halftime, and they were shooting about 35%. So it was offensive rebounds, and those turnovers led into some of that transition, giving them easy baskets when we were actually guarding pretty well in the first half.
How do you think that Al responded in his first game back, and also just how did he say how his body was feeling throughout the game? How was he feeling? He
felt fine. He actually wanted to play longer. We wanted to keep him around that 25-minute. So when his time was done in the fourth, we pulled him there. So he played 24 and a half. But he said he was fine. He was spirited out there. He was one of the guys that was competing harder. His legs may not have been there on some shots he shot short, but overall he was fine. Just messed with our lineup a little bit by having to take him out and play some different rotations than we would, but we'll build back up to that in the next few games.
About the turnovers, what did you see what did you see, I guess, out of your guys' turnovers? Was it just sloppy passing, just them getting in the passing lane?
Playing in the crowd. a lot of similarities with Toronto and New York in the way they defend. Big time shift team. They're going to make plays, and we said don't be surprised by their randomness on defense. So we played in the crowd way too much. Simple passes were there to get off the ball. If you draw two, you've done your job. And so we stressed that, but we definitely played in the crowd too much. Didn't get a few fouls. It felt like we were putting our head down trying to draw fouls instead of making the right play.
Obviously, such a kind of unusual preseason with guys in and out for various reasons. How much do you feel like you're still trying to figure things out in terms of rotations, who plays well together, and kind of, obviously you hope at the start of the season that's something you'd have a better grasp on, but it kind of wasn't possible.
Yeah, that may be part of it. We talked about the lack of continuity in the preseason with guys being in and out, but with that being said, I mentioned the effort had always been there, no matter who was playing, even nights where we sat all the veterans. So for there to be a lack of effort tonight, that was disappointing for the most part, but we can use this early part of the season as well to continue to build and look for different lineups and rotations. But it'll help over time, I'm sure, and just using this fuel for the fire and not having that taste in our mouth again should definitely spur us on.
Ime, how do you not overreact to this, but then react accordingly? Because it seems like there's a lot of things to figure out,
Yeah.
but this is wasn't what you expected tonight.
Yeah, and I said that to the group. I said, that's as ugly as it could get. One thing I can't stand as a coach is to get punked out there, and I felt they basically came out and punked us, outplayed us, played harder than us, all the things we talked about. So, you don't want to overreact and panic, and we're going to stay together and keep our head up. But I said, use these boos as motivation. We deserved it, the way we played, and us coaches didn't prepare them as well as we should have. Understanding who Toronto is, doesn't matter who they have on their team or the roster, they're going to play with that same intensity, and we didn't match it. So take it in, use it for fuel, use it for motivation, and come back ready for Houston in a few days.